Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of the Disgustingly Resilient podcast and another of the series Assembly to Annihilation, which is focused more on new players who are getting into the hobby. This one, not so much. This one's more people that may be thinking about going to the first event, but I thought it kind of kept track with the theme of people being introduced to the hobby and what is available in it. So just a quick note, apologies for lack of content this last week. People that might know, my boiler exploded and that's been a bit of a mare to deal with, as well as London, the super major coming up next week kind of took a lot of time so to get hobby and stuff done, so we're all ready for that. But yeah, hoping to get back on track soon. But yeah, I'm hoping in this video that we're going to sort of help people who maybe sat there and less focused on the tactical side today, and more focused on the kind of like opinions people have, maybe some misconceptions, or maybe some forms of like social anxiety or whatnot that could be preventing them going to an event, or maybe they are event curious and like thinking, oh, shall I try it, but I'm not sure where to start looking. Hopefully I can address that for you today and we can get you sort of looking forward to and maybe wanting to attend your very first Warhammer event, because they are awesome. So before we start, again, this series' main thing is the rule of cool, do what you enjoy, and that includes in the social aspect of like events and stuff as well. If you are not a competitive minded person, you don't want to be competitive, don't go to a competitive event. Although that is saying that's not also actually true, as we'll cover in a second. But you don't have to be trying to win, is what I'm trying to say. You don't have to be, going to events to like enjoy the game or do well. Do what makes you happy. If staying and playing with your local mates is what you're having fun with and what you're enjoying, and you don't really have any interest in going outside of that, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you want to actually get out there and expand and maybe meet some new people, and that sounds fun to you, you go for that. We're just reiterating, the main rule of this entire series is that you do what you are enjoying, everyone else's opinion be damned, okay? So, quickly, what is a 40k event? Well, there's actually different types of events. Mainly they're focused into competitive, narrative, and fun events. But the reality is, overall, it is just a gathering of people with the exact same hobby that you do. Everyone is there for the same reason. We all love Warhammer, we all love 40k. So, instantly, when you go to these events, you're going to have something in like with these people. You can literally walk up to the table and be like, is this your favourite army? And instantly you've got something in connection with them. Instantly. They are a great social experience. You'll meet tons of people. Again, you're going to be spending a couple hours across a table from someone, so it's very, very unlikely you're going to sit there and be quiet. You're probably going to talk and interact with people, and there's going to be tons of other people around. You'll meet friends of friends. You'll meet new people. Just by interacting, people come by and be like, oh, that's a nice model, you've painted well, all sorts of things. And really, it's a way to experience your hobby differently. I used to just play at a local shop, and then I started going to events, and my first ever event was a very different beast. It's a very different environment, but still super friendly. Like, it's still awesome, but it's just different. It's just, everyone's there, everyone's talking about how the game just went and stuff like that. And when you're at a hobby shop, you maybe talk about your projects, but even then, like, that comes up and stuff. It's a way to take what you enjoy and expand it into basically a larger sphere, and in doing so also share that with other people at the same time at events, which is a really, really cool thing. So the main type of events we have is competitive. Hello, that's my job. That's my kind of thing. These are your standard tournaments. So you go to your tournament, you try and win your best you can, you do the best you can, you get some points and some prizes for first, second, third, runner-up, whatever it is. But these are mainly split into the following categories. An RTT, stands for Rogue Trader Tournament, is a small one-day event. These are like your local events that are like one day. We're just going to have 3 games, more than likely. They're usually 3 rounds. Local scenes, maybe up to like 20-odd people, but sometimes it's 10, even sub-10. And it's basically, you can just go to this, you can take anything in the game, you can take the crappiest thing you can imagine, and you can still enjoy and have fun with it. And, it's just an event of local scene where people come together to play some games in a day. They're very chill, and it's where I'd probably recommend most people start their interest in tournaments. Not to say that you can't go with the other ones, it's just that an RTT is like a nice, easy, it's only one day compared to the others, which can be 2 to 3 days, as we'll get into. But it's just a nice, easy way to break you into the competitive scene, see what it's like, and get sort of tip your toe in the water and be like, okay, you know what, this is actually quite cool, and because they tend to be more local scene based, people don't tend to travel too far for them. There's a good chance that if it's local to you, the players you meet there will also be local to you, so you can really make some like good friends and contacts. I've made tons from that. Sam, who I'm literally going to London with, I met at like an RTT and then like a GT. I saw him again. I was like, "Oh, how you doing?" And then yeah, it just went from there. Now a GT is a medium-sized sort of event, so these can go to like 30 to 50-ish, but again, there's no real limits, there's no numbers that define what something is, but the main difference between a GT and an RTT is it is a 2-day event, so usually you'll play 3 rounds on the Saturday and 2 rounds on a Sunday, so if you go into one of these and you're travelling far, you might need somewhere to stay over, or someone else's house to crash at, but in the UK, we can usually just drive anywhere because we're like this big compared to you Americans. I'm sorry, we're like one of your states is bigger than our entire country. But these tend to be a little bit more serious, a little bit more, not serious in the sense like everyone's like, ooh, but people, you know, bringing some proper powerful lists and sort of like trying the best in these ones. But at the same time, don't think that you don't get people going to GTs and even majors below this that are just going for fun. It's a very big misconception. Like, people will go to these events just because it's just games to play. People just enjoy playing the game. And last but not least, you've got majors and then super majors, which are even bigger. These are your huge events. These are like, you know, over like 200 people, or even over 100 people is a major, but like super majors like LVO, London GT, they're crazy big. Like LGT this year is 1,028 players. These can take 2 to 3 days. They can go from 5 to 8 rounds. Then there's usually like a knockout round for the top players, so it can go on to like 4 days in some crazy instances, and like 12 rounds. But don't worry about that. Chances are, and no offense by this, you're probably not going to be winning a super major anytime soon. I sure as hell ain't either. But they're very cool. They're awesome. It is a spectacle. I would recommend going to one at some point if you aren't interested at all, because it's just like when I went to London for the first time, it's just so big. There's just so many people, and there's so many people enjoying Warhammer, and there's so many cool armies. There's people there that aren't even playing like Warhammer. They're off playing kill team tournaments and all this stuff because they tend to be big exhibitions and conventions. So there's loads of stuff to check out. They're really, really cool. But they're like the largest of competitive events. Now, alongside competitive events, you also have narrative events. So narrative events are more focused on, like, again, as the name suggests, the narrative, like campaigns, apocalypse-sized games where you bring like 10,000 point lists, people bring in titans and stuff like that, the fun units. No one cares about what's doing well. It's all about a narrative. Like, you might start a game at certain events knowing narratively your forces are going to lose. You're going to lose this game, but the point is to take out as many of your opposing forces as you can, because then they'll have less for the next battle. It has all these crazy wacky rules that like have knock-on effects, or people play on like maps where you can take over areas. They're great. And there's also team narrative events. So Warhammer World itself does one, and they also host one in America, where you basically get assigned to a team, where it's like Team Imperium, Team Chaos, Team Xenos, and you basically play games as a big team, whether that's 1v1s or one huge game. It depends on the event, but like your results sort of influence what mission is going to be played next, who's going to be on the attack, who's going to be on the defense. And again, the main difference between like these kind of like events and competitive is made to make the most balanced approach possible. So like all the terrain is symmetrical, etc. In narrative, you kind of don't have to worry about that, because again, you're not going with like, I'm going to win this. It's like you're going to be part of the narrative. You are a part of the story that is taking place. So you're going to see lots of like cosplay and things like that as well, which is super cool. And I've not been to one personally, but they do look really fun. And maybe if there's enough people who enjoy the channel, maybe we can make a team disgustingly resilient and bring an entire legion of Death Guard to one of these events. We can have like a team of 10 people all repping Death Guard, and we'll unleash the Terminus Est upon the forces of the Corpse God. That would be really fucking cool. So maybe that's something we can do. That'd be a really cool get together as well. So let us know if you're interested. And also these can also be in local clubs and slow grow narrative campaigns. So certain clubs like mine at the moment, my local, has started a slow grow where people are making 500 points of a new army. You're not taking competitive units, you're taking stuff you think's cool, and after every game you get like another 250 points. You go, you buy it, you paint it, you build it up. And these are things that being part of these groups and getting out of your local play group and going to clubs and stuff is going to expand and open up to you, because you might want to be part of these slow grow narratives, and by the end of it you've all got a new 2k army and you've all took part in a narrative. There's people even keep blogs writing full-on stories, novels about the games, recapping them of cool moments. So narrative stuff can be really, really fun. So if you're into narrative things, check out narrative events. Check out if you've got any local stores running any slow grows or anything like that. Is really cool. And last but not least are the things I call for fun events. These are what you make of them. They are silly events. They are like doubles, for example, is a great example. Doubles is hilarious fun. I love doubles. Doubles is so much fun. At the same time, is doubles balanced? No, of course it's fucking not. It's doubles. It's not even meant to be played that way. And then because you have two armies that can be like Eldar and Death Guard working on a team, so like they bring the speed, you bring the punch. Like there's it, but it's so fun. It's a unique way, and again, you get that interaction because you're going with a buddy, so you brought a mate with you, or maybe you just put up a post and be like, "Hey, does anyone want to come to doubles at this event?" You might get a random teammate, but then you might become best buds, and then you're playing against two other people, and it's everyone knows it can't be serious because it's doubles, but at the same time, people want to try do well at it. So you get this really fun mix of like competitiveness, but also silliness. I really love doubles. And stuff like Highlander events. So Highlanders are events where you're not allowed to bring more than one of a data sheet. So I couldn't bring 3 bloat drones, I could bring 1. And then I have to bring like 1 PBC, 1 Land Raider, 1 Predator. And it stops people bringing these spam lists where they're just abusing a really good profile. And it makes a very interesting game because you now have to use... Basically, everyone is forced to use toolbox armies because you only have 1 of each unit per battle line, which I think you capped at 3, which makes Plague Marines real good. And dedicated transports, obviously. But these are fun events. Again, they are strange limitations put onto it to put a spin on the game to just make it more fun. And again, just don't go and take it too seriously. Have a laugh with it. But these are the main types of events that are available out there and that I would sort of recommend people of any type of the enjoyment of the hobby. I think there's genuinely something for everyone that can get involved. So, obviously, in this one, I'm going to be focusing on competitive tournaments because it's what I can tell you. If you want information, narrative tournaments, etc., I'm sure there are better channels. I'll try and find some and maybe put them in the description. I don't really go to them, but I would be interested, as I said before. But I'm going to talk about what I know because, again, I've always said on this channel, I won't talk to you about shit I don't fully know. I only teach what I do know, and that is competitive for me. So I'm going to talk now about competitive 40k and why I think more people should give maybe a competitive tournament a go. So let's first get rid of some misconceptions. People think that the tournament scene is full of WAC, which stands for win at all cost, tryhards only. People that are only there to win the game. They don't care about fun, they don't care about enjoyment, they will do whatever it takes, bring the most miserable list to kick your head in and just basically win the game at all costs to any fun in the game. Not actually that true. Don't get me wrong, these people do exist. They do. But they are the minority. Most people that come to these events are bringing the army they enjoy, bringing the army that they have. It's like why I play Death Guard and Votan. It's like it's all I own. I can't just go and get the new meta army. Plus, I love Death Guard. So it's not true at all. And there are people there. I've seen very bottom tables of events. The last one I went to was at Manchester. Well, the last one I remember specifically. And I walked past the bottom table and there was 2 Imperial Guard players. One running full infantry, the other one running full tanks. And they were just murdering each other. No one was caring about secondaries. No one was caring about primaries. They were just there to have a fun laugh of the game. And those people clearly are not whack tryharders. But they came and they had a great time. Another misconception. You have to take a meta army. Now this is both true and untrue. But we'll sort of get into the thing I need to teach you as well. To win something like a super major, you probably should be bringing a stronger army. You should be bringing something that's good. However, all honesty, most of us in this game, including myself, are not winning super majors. It's just not happening. There is one winner and everyone else is a loser technically. But you can still have fun with any army. Now at GTs and RTTs, I genuinely believe you can win with any army if you're good at it. I managed to go 5-0 with Death Guard when they had a 30% win rate and everyone was like they're unplayable. Because I just learnt the army and I'll just love the army and I can make it work. So you don't have to take better armies. You can genuinely take what you want. But as we'll see in a second, it's all about setting what you want from the event and what you're expecting from the event. But no way do you have to take a meta army to enjoy and have fun at a tournament. Competitive players are toxic. You hear this one a lot from people from the casual community who are kind of misinformed or maybe have had one bad experience. Most competitive players, pretty much all of them, 99% are the chillest people on the planet. They want a fair game, they want a chill game, and because, again, we all understand what a tournament is, we're all chill about it. Like, you're going to lose a game probably, so when you start losing it, it's whatever. I've lost 1 million games. It's nothing. It kind of sucks, but it is what it is. People are happy to teach. People are happy to, explain things to each other, be open with rules. And people are just, again, there because they enjoy the spirit of competition. That doesn't mean they're toxic by nature because they want to do their best to win, as long as they're doing the best to win within the rules of the game. And again, you're there to do the same. Hopefully, you're there to do the best you can possibly do. And that's just a common understanding you have between you. But at no point does it ever get toxic. No point should it ever get into a way where it's becoming heated and confrontational. Everyone I've met at most of my games is super chill and super happy and just having a laugh. And you can make jokes, you can have a lot of fun while playing it. I have weirdly met, this isn't an insult to the casual scene, I have met more toxic players at local shops than I have at tournaments. And that is because at local shops you'll get what I would call a bully player, which is someone that is a bit better than average at the game, bullying people that are new to the game, and they think he's like a god at the game, and then he refuses to go to events because he's actually kind of shit at the game, and then you actually get his head caved in, and his ego can't take that. And I've seen this multiple times. They are the real toxic people. But everyone I've played at tournaments, super solid. Again, we've had the exceptions, and we'll get onto that, but don't worry. But the last misconception is nobody cares about the hobby. Not true. I have seen at these things fully converted Imperial Knights into Orc Knights Titan players. People with incredibly beautiful armies. There's a guy in the UK scene who's always rocking like Harlequins or Dark Eldar, and it's painted in this like awesome Vice high fucking glowy colourful super vibrant colour scheme. It's so awesome to see on the table. And the guy's also a legend. He always wins like one of the best sporting. The guy's mint. I'm sorry I forgot your name, mate. I'm not great with names, but people will know. If you're in the UK scene, you will know who I'm on about, and that's the funny thing. But there's tons of people that care about the hobby and like bring cool things, conversions. There's people that just bring it with 3 colours base minimum, but again, it shouldn't be a problem, mate. Like we all just enjoy the hobby our own way. If that person doesn't enjoy painting and they just want to put 3 colours in an army, as long as there's 3 colours on that bad boy and it looks painted and it goes on the table, I'm more than happy with that. But it's a misconception that nobody cares about the hobby. I mean, I've spent hours and hours and hours and hours and hours on painting my stuff and trying to make it look good. Like I'm working on my Votam right now to take to events. Like I even got I've got transfers on the side and everything. And I'm a super competitive player. So if that myth was true, then why do I care about getting my transfers on? I've had to redo like this one like 4 times because it wasn't straight. Again, it's just proving that we do care. And now, the reality, though, of competitive 40k scene is for most people, it's just a day or two of 40k. They just want to go and play some games with like-minded people who enjoy the same hobby. And that's it. They never thought they were going to win. They never wanted to win. They just wanted to go and play some 40k. The reality is you're going to have a mixed bag of players, though, all with different goals. You're going to have the guys who went for the 5 rounds of playing fun with his full infantry guard army. You're going to have the people that are really trying to push and try and get the best results they can. Neither of them are wrong and neither of them feel bad, and everyone sort of just knows that and everyone kind of gets along. If someone's came to a table with a silly army, you've came to the table and you've got a really strong army, like the guy kind of knows that when you take a silly army, you're like, okay, cool, I lose this probably, but let's have fun with it. Let's still play a game of 40k because it's still a game of 40k. Again, as I just said, some of the best armies I've ever seen have been at events. They are crazy, crazy, crazy. 99% of people are friendly, fun, and approachable completely. I have made so many friends, so many contacts. I lost a game against a Gene Stealer Cult player back in Leeds. Mark, yeah. Sorry, names. I'm really bad with names. But that was one of the best fucking games I've ever played. And I lost that game. And now every time we meet at events, we're always catching up with each other. And again, I'm terrible with names. I've always been bad with names, so please don't take offense to that. But it was such a good game, and he's now like one of the guys I'm always looking out for to say hello to at events, because again, it was just such a fun game, even though I lost. And also, if you are new, and you just be open with people and say, hey, this is like my first event, or hey, I'm kind of new to Warhammer, or like, I'm kind of new to competitive, most people that attend tournaments regularly are more than happy to be like, oh, cool, right, sweet. And they will talk you through stuff and teach you things and help you out to become better at the game. No one has fun playing against someone that you're just going to literally dumpster fire and murder and then be miserable. No, that's not what it's about. And a lot of the people in the competitive scene won't enjoy that at the same time. Like, you think, oh, they're getting a free win, but it's not enjoyable. Like, we will instead take the opportunity to maybe say at the end, oh, you should have done this, maybe this, or hey, that's not how this works, it's actually this, or I've even seen people literally screw themselves over and be like, you know, if you do this here and here, you can actually score those points. Like, they're hurting their own score and their own chances of winning, but they're willing to do it for these people to help introduce them to the scene and help make them have a good first experience. Honestly, the competitive scene has been super, super welcoming, super awesome, and I've always had a great time with it. So, find an event. Now, I'm going to cut away to not Table Aiden, but like Internet Aiden, and he's going to quickly take you through how to look for events near you using the best coast pairing. So, Aiden, take it away. Okay, guys, so this is just a real quick one from Internet Aiden, and basically just trying to teach you guys how to sort of find events. So, there's a website called Best Coast Pairings. This is basically where, if you're in, especially in the UK and America, this is where most of the events are going to be found, even other countries as well. So, I'll have a quick sip. But I know some other countries like Germany have their own system for that, but you can find most of them on Best Coast Pairings. So, you're going to go to the website, make yourself an account, log in, stuff like that. You don't even have to do that though, but generally helps. But the main thing is just going to click here, find an event. Now, it will say current location, but I'd always recommend you type in your location because it can be a bit daft. It thinks I live in London for some reason, and I definitely don't. So, type in your location. You've obviously got distances that you can search between. The dates when you're free, so maybe I'm free this weekend here. So, just for the sake of it, I'll put the Thursday and then to what the following Monday or something like that. So, just like that. There you go. That's quite a big range there. You can pick your game system, so Warhammer 40k, and then without putting any names in or anything like that, we're just going to put the search button, and it's going to pull up all events that within that 50-mile range of where I currently am. And as you can see, we've got someone's obviously testing it out, but you've got 40k in 50 minutes, Tabletop Simulator, so that's an online event. You've got Battle of Boltstorm Pariah, so something happening here, and it's got all locations and stuff like that. So let me try and find a good one. So look, doubles tournaments as well, so it's not just competitive ones. You can have some fun ones. There we go, Carnage lots. Carnage are a good lot. So Carnage are a club local to me. They do pretty good events. So they do midweek events, which is a bit odd, but it's actually kind of cool. So they do a Wednesday Warfare. So I've clicked on their event. Now, I can obviously see the date, October 9th, and it's one day, so it ends on the same day. So it's got all the details down here as you scroll down. So it's going to be 32 players if it sells out. 3 games of 2,000 points, 3 hours per round. Armies don't have to be fully painted, so it's got all the rules for the event down here. So you can sort of like browse through and go, okay, cool. And then it has a link to go and buy the tickets if you want them. And then they also come with a terrain and a mission pack. So if you click this, let me go up here, it's going to give you all the information you need about how the events. This is the first round. You can see how the terrain's going to be. So people who really want to strategize can look at stuff like this and think how they're going to deploy and things like that. But it lets you know sort of what you're getting in for. So these are kind of the maps you're going to be playing on. So up to round 3 because it's only one day. So it also has some rulings on it. So the rules in the terrain pack are mainly just here to sort of let you know when we're using up to current rules and the terrain that they're going to be using. So it's quite interesting information that's good to know. But say like you look at this and you go, okay, cool, you know what, this sounds like a good event. It's got a little time scale down here. So, you know, we've got round 1, 9:30 to 12:30, and we have lunch for 45 minutes, cool. And then award ceremony at 7:45, so it's roughly going to wrap up about 8 p.m. Say you were interested in this event, you could go to their link, you can buy the tickets, so let's go here. So you can go in here, you can buy the tickets, so these guys here, 20 quid for the ticket, that's a real good price, that's proper solid, so well done Carnage lot. So you can buy that, and then once you've done that, you need to just register for their event, which is here. So you'd make an account, you'd register for this event, and then you would then appear on the roster. So you can see right now 3 people have already signed up for it, which is quite early to sign up for it. And then, just so I can quickly clarify it, what happens is once you've signed up for the roster, you would have another tab here called Player Details, and that's where you would submit your list. So again, look for stuff like list cut-offs and things like that. But this is a great way to sort of browse through. It's the best website for doing it. It's the main one that everyone uses for sort of just scrolling through another Carnage one. This is a 5-round 2-dayer, so you can kind of find the sort of things you're after and, you know, what you would think you would enjoy. You've got RTTs as well, so single day RTTs. But yeah, again, just friends doubles, all sorts of fun things. So you can browse through this, put in your location, you can always edit your search, and hopefully you guys can use this website to see if there's any local events happening to you and maybe get involved in one. But that is basically the easiest way to find events. So once again, Best Coast Pairings, hit the find an event button, put in your location, game system. So again, if you're not a 40k player, you can go Age of Sigmar and go anything. But 40k for us, and then just hit that search button, and then boom, it's all going to come up, and you are free to scroll, peruse, look where stuff is. Again, half of them have maps on, like that one even shows you where it's at with maps and stuff. So there's all sorts of things that you can find out. But yeah, hopefully you guys will check this out, maybe find something close to you, and I'll pass you back over to Video Aiden. So see you in a bit. Okay, so preparing for an event. So the first thing we're going to talk about is goal setting, because I think it's something we don't actually talk about enough. And the main thing with goal setting is to understand what is it you actually want to get from the event. Is it you want to do the best you can? Do you just want to go play 5 games? Do you want to just go and show off an army you've just painted? Or do you just want to go and see how the feel is, make friends? Like, none of them are bad things. Like, they're all perfect reasons for you to go to events. And then one thing I like to do is set achievable, realistic goals and aspirations for your event. So when I go to an event, my goals for myself are to come positive. That is it. Come positive. But it's not just that. It's also try and make some friends. And when you're new to the game, I don't want you to be thinking about wins at all. I don't want you to go into a first tournament thinking I should come out with a positive win rate. Because I'll be brutally honest with you, a lot of the time, it's not going to happen. But that's okay. It doesn't have to be. Your first goal, realistically, can be something as simple as, I will attend the event. I will buy my ticket and I will show up on the day. And this is something Vanguard Tactics has taught about, and when they speak about it as well, is that you don't even have to play a game. Maybe it's just show up, maybe you think your anxiety gets a bit much, you're like, okay, not sure what to play, and then that's it. But if you at least achieve the goal of showing up to an event, like, you've done more than you can count on already. But if you can set a goal of, I'm going to go to an event, scores be damned, I'm just going to get my models on a table and play some games. That is an amazing goal for your first ever event. Win rates be damned, screw the pep where you're going to finish, no one cares. Just go, show up, and try and have a couple games of 40k and learn and enjoy yourself. Or maybe use it as motivation to get something painted. I'm going to finish off painting this land fortress so I can take it to that tournament that's in 1 month's time. It's going to motivate me to get that done. Then once I've got it done, I'm going to have an excuse to go and take it and put it on a table, and then my opponent's going to be like, holy shit, that orange is sick, mate. And I'll be like, thanks, man, it took me 5 years. But it's like, that's the kind of things and goals you can set. Don't worry about wins. Like, people get too caught up in win-losses, and it's really not the point of tournament play. Tournament play is, obviously, people want to do the best they can, but people go to tournaments, especially when you're new, and just go with the goal of, I'm going to learn, I'm going to play against armies I've never played against before, hopefully, because maybe the people I play with only play Marines, and I've never played against Eldar, or Necrons. What the hell do they do? I don't know. Tyranids, oh god, that guy's got Nids. Oh my god, is that a Custode player? There's all sorts of things you can go and just have fun with. So set goals for yourself, and don't be too harsh, keep it realistic, but make them always achievable. So set maybe an aspiration and a goal. So my aspiration is to go 3-2 to get a positive win rate, but that isn't the goal. My goal is to go and have a fun time. Like, I go and meet people, especially meet people from the channel. That's what I like doing, like people coming over and saying hello. It's so cool to meet people like that. That's the real goal for me. Go, have fun, and be a good ambassador for the hobby. And my aspiration, something I want to do, but it's not critical to my enjoyment of the event, is to go positive on win rate. So think of it like that. Now, obviously we have a checklist. Make sure you've got your dice, tape measure, most important things. And then, if you can, bring wound counters. Try and bring something different to dice. So I use like Magic the Gathering spin downs quite a lot, because the problem is you won't intend to do it, but you will accidentally pick up your wound dice as dice when you're looking to roll stuff. I've done it before, and then you're like, oh shit, sorry, I'm not trying to cheat, promise, I'll put it back down to 5, what he was on. Like, you just pick dice up, you don't think all the time. That's why I've started using different markers, because obviously that's not a dice I can roll, so I'm not going to pick it up. People also bring dice trays for this reason, because you keep it all to the side. I'm just a messy bugger. Now, make sure you also have easy access to your rules, so whether that be on your phone, maybe you've bought the Warhammer app, you've put your code in, you've got your codex in your bag, you have like printed off data sheets for your units. Not that you could get that from anywhere. That wouldn't be, you know, a legal source. I'm sure you've all got them legally. Well done, guys. But, you know, make sure you have them. And it's not just for your own referencing. It's because sometimes your opponent might not have seen the unit you've brought before, and they just want to check something. And it's not a, hey, you're trying to cheat me. It's just like, can I see the rule? Can I just make sure I know what that does for future? And you need to be able to present those rules to your opponent to be like, clear, yep, there you go, mate. So I just pass my phone over, I just open the phone, they go, there you go, mate. Just double check it. Like Plague Bus Crawlers, they used to have a 3-up save since they came out, part of this edition, where they now have a 2-up save, and I still catch people off with that. They'll shoot it, or they'll ask me, I'll be like, it's 2-up save, and they're like, is it? I'm like, yeah. And then they'll be like, really? And I'll be like, yeah, I can show you if you want. Like, and they're not asked for it at that point, but I'll just pull it up and just be like, yeah, look, there you go, mate. Just to prove it, just be like, you're like, look, and it, only because I have that quick access to my rules is that not an issue in the game. You don't want to be sat there faffing around, especially some of the more complex rules. Again, you're on a time scale when you're playing at events, so you don't want to be, sit on your phone trying to load up like certain website that I won't name, trying to find a data slate so you can check a rule. You want to have it easy to access at all times. Another one is bringing snacks and drinks, or just some money to buy some. A lot of events will provide purchasable drinks and snacks, but it is going to be a long day. You're going to be stood around tables for a lot of hours, and you're going to get tired. It's quite normal. I am knackered by the end of a 2-day event. So bringing some high energy snacks, drinks, water, things like that, just going to help keep you going and help you be a bit more comfortable going through your day. Now, objective marker mats. I genuinely think everyone should own a set of neoprene objective marker mats. I'm not saying that because I have my own, because I actually don't for now. but there's just so much more easier to determine if someone is controlling an objective rather than putting down a 32mm base and then checking if you're within 3mm of it. Just get the mats. It's a great one-time purchase. I've purchased it, never looked back. I've always been thankful to have it. A lot of times your opponents will have them, but always having them. I've had one game where I forgot mine and my opponent having it, and it was just so awkward. It was like, am I within range of that objective? I don't know. Am I? So that's a great purchase. If you haven't got them, I definitely recommend picking them up. Dress comfortably. Again, you're going to be... Some places do have chairs. Quite a lot of places will offer chairs, but not everywhere does. So you're going to be stood around a lot, and even with a chair, you're going to have to be getting up, moving around your table quite a lot. So bring something that you're comfortable to wear. If it's warm, wear shorts. Bring some comfortable footwear. I've seen people bring yoga mats to stand on, all sorts of things, but just make yourself comfortable because it's going to help you just not like wear yourself out so you can enjoy the hobby more. So make sure you dress appropriately. Don't come along wearing a bow suit and tie to an event when it's like 38 degrees in the room. You're gonna have a miserable time. And obviously on that note, bring deodorant and spray. So some form of spray. It gets real warm. Lots of nerds. We're all nerds. I am a nerd. Don't take offense to it. In a room at once can get warm. There's a lot of people moving around as well. So bring some deodorant. You don't want to be the stereotype of our hobby. You don't want to be that. So make sure you got some spray. Keep yourself fresh and smelling good because it's just nice courtesy that you always want to make sure that you are not as pungent as the Marines that we play as. So when you go to your first event, what can you expect and what to do? So first thing to expect, to lose, bluntly, but that's okay. Don't go in there with the expectation, even if you crush your little local club, don't go in there with the expectation to crush everything. Expect to lose, but hope to win, and then you can't be upset. It's going to happen. You're going to meet some players that have all different calibers. You're going to meet your little Timmies all the way up to your big Johnnies. Shouldn't say that. That came out wrong. But they're going to be people that are going to kick your head in because they've been playing for ages and they're really good at the game. And there's also going to be people that are new like yourself, and maybe you can have some good close games. Maybe you're better than the average player. Maybe you might kick some heads in. But at some point in an event, you're going to lose. And that's alright because we learn more from our losses. Another thing to expect is the pairing system. So the way it works is the first round pairing is always random. You could play the rank 1 player in the world if he's at the event. It happens. I've had it happen to me. I played Team England round 1. It's unlucky. It happens. But then from then on, do understand that losers will play losers and winners will play winners. So you will always play someone that is roughly at the same standing you are. So if you're 2 wins, 2 loss, go into the final round, you will try to be paired against someone that is also 2 wins and 2 losses. So you're always going to be playing at a more even play level, but just understand the first round, because again, there's nothing to pair off, is going to be random. So you could get real lucky, you could get real unlucky, or you could get a nice normal game. So just understand that people sometimes have a bad first experience because they get put against someone really strong and they get smashed, but it will then even out after that. So don't let the first round ever intimidate you at all. It's just the way it goes. Chatty opponents. Your opponent's going to speak to you, surprisingly. it is a social game. You're there for a couple of hours around the table, so expect your opponent to start talking to you. Expect to talk to your opponent back. If you don't really like social interaction, I'm not sure I could recommend events for you, because I had a guy that was like sat across from me at the table, didn't want to talk to me, didn't want to do anything, and it was a really awkward 3 hours. He just say numbers to me, just be like 3-ups. I'm like, okay, and I'd even try and be like, oh, they look cool, mate. How long does it take to paint them? And he's just like, don't know. Like, please understand, it's a social game, so try and interact with your opponent, try and bring the energy. It's also okay to ask questions. You're not expected to know everything. You're not expected to know all your opponent's rules. So feel free to ask questions, and that is totally okay. And people expect you to. It's not like a bad thing. Calling a judge over also doesn't mean conflict. I've called judges over. My opponent's called judges over, and it doesn't mean someone's cheating or someone's conflict or we're angry at each other. Sometimes it's, oh, what happens in here? This interaction. My opponent goes, you know what? I actually don't know. Let's call a judge. No one's trying to get each other put under a yellow card or anything. We just need to know an answer. So don't think that calling a judge is like something you need to panic, or if you feel like you need to call a judge, that's something you shouldn't do. You can easily, happily at any time just be like, judge, can you just give us a ruling? It's totally fine. And the last thing you expect to do is learn. Whether that's through victory or defeat, you're going to learn so much about the game, so much about people as well. You're going to meet people and learn about them, but you're going to learn a lot about strategy, what works, what doesn't, what armies do, how they're planning to win. Lots of things that are going to help you become a better player. So last thing I sort of want to touch on is about having a great attitude and on how that will make you have a great event. So again, the social aspect, it is a social contract. Your opponents are only your opponents in game, but realistically your opponent should be your best friend. Your opponent should be your mate. You're playing the game together. The game can't work with one of yours only. Two people have to be there to enjoy this game. So your opponent, even though he's your opponent on the table, should be your friend in real life. You should be helping each other. So if your opponent moves somewhere to shoot something and you check it and he actually can't see it, tell him. Say, hey, just be aware, you've tried to hide that guy there, but I can actually see him if I go here. And again, then just let him nudge it in. Because the same thing is, we don't want to have what's called gotchas. A gotcha is when you sort of like catch someone out on something like a technicality. Instead, what we try to do is play with open and clear intent. So that's as simple as saying, hey, mate, my intent here is to try and hide this guy behind this wall from your movement. Can you see him if you move and shoot? And if your opponent moves it, and it's like an asshole of an inch hair, like, out, like, just be like, just say to him, nudge it in a bit more, or, no, it's fine, like, I understand what you're trying to do. Now, if he can't physically do it, don't let him do it. Like, if there's no way he can hide, he can't hide, but if he's accidentally left it, like, overhanging by, like, a millimetre or something, but he told you his intent was to try and hide from it, then the good thing to do as an opponent would be like, hey, I didn't check before, but I actually can see you. Do you want to just nudge you in a bit, just so I can? As long as you state what you're planning to do to your opponent and your opponent acknowledges it, the social contract is to respect that. So if my opponent says to me, hey, I'm going to go here, and they're going to do the action in the shooting phase, but then it's still the movement phase. Then in the shooting phase, he doesn't declare it, but then at the end of the turn, he goes, oh, those were supposed to action. You can say, yeah, don't worry, you said you were going to do it anyway, or they weren't going to do anything else. Yeah, that's fine. No problem. Just be open, clear, and showing respect to your opponent gains respect. I've had an opponent who forgot to swing with a unit. I missed it as well. I let him take it back. He mentioned it. I was like, oh, I forgot to swing that unit. I was like, yeah, go for it, swing it, mate. And he swung and he killed my unit, fair enough. And later on, I rolled a charge. One of the dice went behind a building. I didn't think anything of it because one of the dice was in front. I needed a 7. The dice that landed on the table was a 1. The one in the building was a 6. I was like, oh, cool, got it. Picked the dice up. And my opponent was like, shit, I didn't see that dice. And I was like, do you want me to re-roll it? Because I would have. I 100% would have re-rolled it. But because my opponent said, well, you let me do my attack over there before, so you're clearly not trying to get any advantage off this one. So don't worry, I trust you. Like, I showed him that respect, and then he gave me that respect back. And I would have 100% re-rolled that if you wanted me to. Because, again, I did the oopsie there. I picked up the dice before he'd seen it. But the point is that that bit of respect gave me that respect back. Because, again, it's that social contract between players. And yes, that guy does exist. You will, unfortunately, hear stories of people that are the less honourable, the less desirables of the hobby. They do exist. I have run into one before. I've run into one or two. But again, I've been playing for years. So they do exist. But don't let one bad apple ruin the 99% of good people. Because I promise you, everyone knows who the bad apple is. Even if nothing's been done on like a judge level or anything like that, which again is a different discussion, people know and people do not like that person. And people will say that. And you will find out very quickly who the bad apples are. And people will realise that those people do not have a fun event because nobody wants to interact with them. Nobody wants to talk to them. No one wants to be friends with them. So even though it does exist, that is the epitome of everything you don't want to be. And you shouldn't really run into them. Like, again, I've had two encounters over like the last 3 years, I'm pretty sure, of going to events quite regularly. So it is not common at all. But I won't lie to you, they do exist. Just be aware of that. So for you, how can you be a great opponent? It is a game of toy soldiers. Understand that. Drill that into your head is the most important thing. Sometimes dice do be like that. You will lose a game because you failed a 3-inch charge with a reroll. It happens. Like, it's just a dice game, and you can feel real bitter and real upset at the moment. And, you know, yeah, I kind of get it at the same time, but at the same time, it's a dice game, and the last thing you want to do is be sitting there having a paddy and a tantrum because your opponent is also at the table, and you don't want to be making them feel awkward and making them feel bad. You're just both there to play a game. No one should have to feel bad. Now, that being said, you should also celebrate cool moments, and that includes your opponents. I had a game where everything was going shitting wrong with me. I was getting my head caved in, a monolith blew some up every turn, and then towards the end, this monolith would not stop rolling 6s on its sustained D3 death rays. So my opponent went to shoot a bloat drone, and I was getting my head caved in. It was over. It was 100% over. And he was just like, do you want to just like, I'm going to shoot them at that. Do you want me to just pick it up? Because he was trying to be kind and be like, I don't want to make you have to sit and roll this. But I didn't want to take that away from him because this is his cool game. Like, him winning this hard and having this hot dice is what's cool for him. So I said, nah, mate, roll it. Because I wanted to see him get the 6s again, and he did get 2 6s. And I laughed with him, and I was like, oh, of course it does. Like, but in a jokey, fun way, because that made him, and it let him know that even though, yes, you are battering me, you're murdering me, don't feel bad about it. You enjoy your game, because I've accepted it's over, I've accepted the loss, but we can still have fun and still enjoy the game, and that's what it's all about. So that should also apply to your opponents. Your opponents should be glad we're happy. Well, not happy, but they should cheer when you make, you know, a double 6 on a charge and get a crazy charge out of nowhere, because it's a dice game, and if we're not having fun at the cool moments that happen in a dice game, then, you know, why are we even playing? Avoid gotchas, as we just said. Be open with your opponent. If your opponent's about to walk in front of your unit of Death Shroud or flamethrowers, maybe say to him, hey, just be aware, they have 7 flamethrowers that all are anti-infantry with full rerolls to wound. So just be aware of that. I'm not saying you can't do it. Please do it, because I want to kill you, and I will overwatch you. But be aware. You don't want to have your opponent ever get in a position where he thought he could do something, and then you're sort of like, nah, my trap card, because it makes a very bitter feeling. And the main thing to take away is your opponent should want to leave the table thinking, I want to play him again. I would be glad to get paired into him again, win or lose, because I know that guy is a fun game and we're going to have a laugh with it, okay? So try and remember this, and being a great opponent will genuinely make you enjoy your events more because you'll have a better time with your opponents. So just to recap this, and again, this was more of more like a mental or like what to expect. It wasn't so much about tactics, but I wanted to sort of hopefully shed some light on the competitive scene, how to prepare for it, how you should approach it. But overall, it's a great social gathering, a place to make tons and tons of friends with like-minded interests in the hobby, a place where you can also improve and learn so much. This entire thing came about because the little shop near me, I've had a couple guys sort of start getting into RTTs who were just playing at the local shop, and one of them especially, the Orc player, Jack, he's went to his first event and he got... on his own, he went to his first solo. I think he went to a GT and he got, I can't remember, he got 2 and 3, but he had some pretty bad losses. And then his first RTT, he went 1 and 2, sorry. But in his latest one, he actually has learned so much and improved so much, and I can see it from when he plays in his deployment and how he's moving and stuff like that. He managed to end up 5th in his latest RTT, which is incredible because I think that's his 3rd solo event, and he's already coming 5th at an RTT with Orcs as well, which aren't doing very well at the moment. So things like that, just watching people learn and get so much better at the game because they're getting these losses. He's learning from the losses, and that's the thing again. He's losing, but he's learning. He's taking that away. And I asked all the guys from the shop, so we've got Ethan, Jack, and Cam, who all started going to events now, what to give me their feedback on like going to events, and a lot of them have said the same things I've parroted in this video here, which is people are way more friendly than you expect. People are way more willing to teach you. Ethan had a great quote, which is, go to an event for the sake of going, not for the sake of winning. And that is a fantastic thing to remember. Go for having fun. Go to enjoy. Go to play 40k. Don't go to win. Go to play 40k. It's a great way to learn it. But yeah, just be realistic. Be chill. It's just a silly game of toy soldiers. We're all there to have fun. And yeah, do have fun. So hopefully I've maybe convinced some of you to maybe give an event a shot. Hopefully if you do go, let me know how it went. Maybe you have made some friends and stuff. If you ever go to a large event and I'm there, or people, or Dave or Will, we're more than happy people to come say hello to us. It's one of the things we love doing is meeting you guys. So just be aware that hopefully in this video I've made events look attractive to you. Hopefully my enthusiasm for them has come through my speech. And I really hope that you guys will maybe give it a shot if you were curious. But yeah, for now, thank you very much for listening. Again, the lovely sponsor on the screen here. If you want to learn how to play a bit better, maybe get some coaching, check out Vanguard Tactics. Those guys are awesome. It's a team I play for and coach for. So lovely, lovely guys, all about the sportsmanship of the game as well. If you think you're going to buy any models from the UK, check out Element Games affiliate link in the description. You get a little bit of extra gems, we get a little bit of extra gems, crystals, and we get a little discounts in the future, which is great. If you want to get some gaming aids to help you play your games a bit easier, check out Saltai Games' Etsy page. Promo code NERGLE gives the channel a little bit of kickback and you can save 10% off your order as well. And obviously, YouTube members, you guys are absolute legends. Like, again, I said at the start, the whole boiler issue at the moment, these guys' support has like made that like so much less of an issue than it should be. You guys have been absolute legends at the moment, and I really, again, if you enjoy the content, please leave a like and subscribe. If you really enjoy the content, consider becoming a member. You get access to our Discord, you get access to join in all the little giveaways that we do. We've been playing some Space Marine 2 recently as well, and yeah, you also get access to the Plague Surgery, so you can have your lists reviewed, etc. But those guys, honestly, guys, you are all absolute heroes for me at the moment, so thank you so much. But for now, also, thank you to the listener for tuning in. Hopefully I've made you want to try out an event, and if not, then, well, I tried. But until the next episode, thank you so much for listening. I will catch you all soon. Take care, and bye-bye.